Hello students, so we're going to continue our lesson on place values. Hello students, today we're going to continue our lesson on place values. So our objective is I can read and write a multi-digit whole numbers. So let's review this. So remember that multi-digit whole numbers consist of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And in total, each of these numbers are digits as well. So we would say I can read and write. We're going to talking about our place values, meaning I can read large numbers up to a million. I can do expanded form. I can do standard form. So let's continue and do a little refresher. So remember our place values. We have our first digit, ones. We know this is in the place value of ones. We have tens. We know that this is the place value of tens. And we have hundreds. What about these last three? What place value is this? If you said thousands, you are correct. If you said, what about the next one? We have 10,000s, right? And what about the third one? What is this? What about 100,000s? And next, we have one more. Let's see. If this is my number, what place value is this? Remember to count the spaces, how many zeros we have. We have 6 zeros. If you have 6 zeros or 6 spaces, then you know that this place value is in the millions. Alright. If anytime you need to take a moment to pause this video, unfortunately I cannot add my little pen bitmoji symbol here. So all of these notes that you're seeing on the screen need to be taken down. So let's do some practice problems before we continue with our lesson. So remember the chart that we drew earlier? So this is the same chart, it's just much neater. So let's talk about placing numbers in our chart. For example, if I have the number 23,165 and I need to plug in this number into my million place value map. So if I plug it in, I'm going to plug in the 5 and just follow along. Here we go. Don't forget our commas. See? Is this what you have on your notebook? If it is, good job. Let's do another problem together. Go ahead and draw another little chart while I get ready for the next problem. So here is our next problem. If our number is 53,621, go ahead and plug it into the place value map. Start with the first number, 1, what value that is. If you said 1, that is correct. Go with your second number, 2. What place value is in the 2? You said the tens. You're correct. What place value is the 6? If you said the hundreds, you are correct. And then we have that comma here. And look at the 3. What place value is the 3 in? It's in the thousands. That is correct. And then take a look at our last number, 5. What place value is the 5 in? 10,000s. If this is what you have in your notebook, good job. Let's do one more together. So we have, let's go a little bit higher up. If this is my number, So I have 3,162,545. Remember, if this is money, we need to make sure we know our values because we don't want anyone taking our money. So let's take a couple of minutes and put this number into the millions place value mat. Go ahead and copy this down in your notebook. Alright, are we ready to do this together? So, what place value is the first number? 5, right here. If you said ones, you are correct. Next number is 4. What place value is the 4 in? If you said tens, you are correct. Our next number is 5. What place value is the 5 in? If you said hundreds, you are correct. Now let's take a look at 2. If what place value is the 2 in? If you said thousands, you are correct. Let's take a look at 6. What place value is 6 in? If you said 10,000s, you are correct. Let's take a look at that 1 now. What place value is the 1 in? Count your spaces. If you said 100,000s, you are correct. And our last number. Oh, but before we go to the last number, make sure you write that comma down. Remember, for every 3 spaces, we're going to have a comma. So let's take a look at that 3. What place value is that 3 in? If you said the millions, good job, you are correct. And this is how we read this number. 3,162,545. And if this was money, we'd be very well off. This would be a dream come true if we had all this in our bank accounts. Right, you guys? So, now I want to talk about something new today. Let's talk about expanded form and standard form. So let me change my color. So we talked about the place value chart or place value mat. So now we're going to talk about the standard form. And you must be asking, Ms. Gonzalez, what is standard form? What do you mean by standard form? Well, standard form is exactly how you see the number. Example, if I have 315,406, this is standard form. How we see our regular numbers. So if I write another number, example, 18,653. That's a 3. Let me rewrite that. 18,653. This is standard form. So now we have short. Now we have short world. Now we have expanded form. Expanded form is when we break down the numbers. For example, let's do this one again. 18,653 in expanded form. So how does that look like? It looks like this. You're going to write 10,000 plus 8,000 plus 600 plus 50 plus 3. If I were to add all these numbers together, my answer would have been 18,653. So we're breaking down the values. So for example, if I know 3 is in my ones, it's right here, we would just write 3. 50, what value is in my 5 in? It's in the 10, so I know it means 50. What value is the 6? We're in the hundreds, so we're going to write 600. And we know what value is the 8 in. It's 8,000. So you're going to write 8,000. And what value is the 10 in? We have 10,000. So you have 18,653. Let's do another one together. So if I ask you, write me the expanded form of 4,232,674. I want the expanded form of this number. So how do I start? With the 4. I know 4 is in the millions. Remember, when you have millions, that's 6 spaces, so 6 zeros. And I'm going to add 200,000 to this number. And then we're going to add 30,000 plus 2,000 plus 600 plus 70 plus 4. And I were to solve all these two numbers together, to add all these numbers together, I know that my answer would have been 4,232,674. Let's do one more together. If I say my number is 3,242,163, write this in expanded form. Then I'm going to start with my 3. I know 3 is in my millions. And I'm going to add that to my 200,000 plus my 40,000 plus 2,000 plus 100 plus 60 plus 3. If I add all these numbers together, I know my answer will be 3,242,163. Now let's talk about our one more form. We have the word form. Yes, spelling counts here. So the word form. If my number is, for example, 4,315,406. I ask you, write this number in word form. So how would that look like? It would look like this. We're going to write 4,000,000 315,406. There's also the short word form. So how does that look like? That's a bit shorter than this. That means you're not writing out the numbers. You're not writing out the digits in word form. You're just writing out the numbers. So we write 4,315,406. That little form to me is a bit more confusing. So we're just going to stick to the regular word form. Let's do another one. If our number is 18,652,300, ask you to write this number in word form and expanded form. So let's do word form first. I'm going to write WF, that stands for word form. So let's see. We have 18 million. Be careful with the spelling, you guys. Double check. 18,652,300. 652 52,000, because what place value are these numbers? They're in the hundred thousands. And then we're going to have 300, 300, right? So that is our problem in word form. Now let's try expanded form. If I have 18 million, but we could break down 18 million further. So if I have 10 million plus 8 million plus 600,000 plus 50,000 plus 2,000 plus 300. If I were to add all these together, I would get my same answers, 18,652,300. So how are we feeling about doing this? If you have, so let's do one more together before I give you your assignment and your discussion post. So now I'm going to ask you for three things in this following part. The first thing I'm going to ask for is tell me the value of the underlined digit. Then I'm going to ask for the expanded form. And the third question I'm going to ask for is the word form. Are you ready for your problem? So here is your problem. If I have 1,834,810. So I'm going to change the color for each one. I'm going to do purple for the first one, for number 1. So I say, tell me the value of this digit. So number 1, what is the place value of 8? If you said 100,000, you are correct. Let's do number 2. Number 2, expanded form. Write this number in expanded form. So we're going to start with 1 million. Remember 6 spaces and your commas between every 3 spaces. We're going to add that to 800,000 plus 30,000 plus 4,000 plus 800 plus 10. This is the expanded form of 1,834,810. Let's answer our final question, word form. So we have 1,834,810. So in some cases you could say 10, but now we're taking off the 10. You just write 810. And that is your answer for word form. So make sure you guys log into Seesaw to see a practice worksheet. We're just going to do a practice on expanded form. So let me do that. So log into Seesaw. To work on some practice problems. Ooh, I spelled practice wrong. And like always, upload your notes to Seesaw. That is the end of our lesson.